Good day. My name is Morris Lilwolf. I'm from Blackfoot, from Alberta, Pagan Reserve. That's where I'm from. One of our most important people, our little people, are the ones that are so lost. That's because of the elders. The elders are not stepping out and helping our younger people, give them an identity of who they really are. Identity is the most important thing. If you are called to something, to do a certain thing, as an example, and you weren't told about it and how it's supposed to be done, so life itself, when you're told to do this and you have never done it, you're so mixed up in different things in life, right? So what has to happen is the identity has to come back. And the identity has to be taught by the root of who we are. And the root is the elders. Where did that come from? Well, I came out of a million angels. I was taken from those millions of little angels and put in my mother. 9 months before I came into this world. And I'm speaking about all natives across North America. 9 months before we come into this world, we were placed by Creator into our mother's body. That's why today you say, God made me. It's true. So He put you in there for a special reason. He had wisdom. He has something for you in this world. Nobody's telling them the importance of who they are. So when you were put here, when you came into this world, the responsibility was that you started to learn all these things. Respect of that certain thing. Today, you see them drinking that alcohol, taking that drugs, taking all these different things that they're not supposed to take. And that's what's causing them to be the way we are. Those are the things that our elders have to come up and teach them a way of life of how it was supposed to be. It's an easy thing to think of, but it's a hard thing to talk about because we were all affected by it. In 1967, my tribe on the Pagan Reserve, right across Canada, was the only tribe that alcohol was open to. Was the only tribe. Can you imagine waking up in the morning with a bunch of vehicles around your house for 1 month? It happened because the only ones, what I said, the only ones that can go in the bar was the pagan. So the whole country, the whole Canada became pagans. And they all came up to go to the bars. See? And through that period of 67 on, treatment centers started to develop. I went to that treatment center. I went to 5 treatment centers in that phase of 67 to 73. 5 of them I went to. And the majority of the band, there was 87% of Canadian Aboriginal were alcoholics. 87. Can you imagine that? Eh? Now, in 73, the persons that were sitting in the back were elders. Never said a word. Until one of them, that I know of, gave tobacco to the other elder, like this. I want you to help these boys. They were raised by the grandpas. The boarding school really took them away. And now the alcoholic. The old guy got so excited he didn't know how to take that tobacco. And his wife sitting beside him told him, "You always said we wanted to go back to our way." And there was no England language that I'm speaking today. It was all Indian words, because that's all he remembered. And then pretty soon his wife don't take it. And he took it from this other old lady. And she told him, "I want you to help these boys. Get them back home in their mind." That's the key that we have to have. We've got those kind of elders where we can send our young people to, and these old people will help them. And that's what happened. The old people took over, and they helped them. He asked the treatment centers across the country were this more given a rest for alcohol. About a 2-3 months arrest. And then we're back on the stream again. It's just often. And today, since that time to this day, it's still like that. Our young people aren't there now. Only this time they're on drugs. And it's happening like that. What has to happen is that they have to go see elders. And the elder has to take their tobacco. And they'll start help. Yes, we lost a lot of people in that span of 67 to 73, right into the 80s, see? And today we kind of cleared it up, and I'm one of them that are not boozing anymore. We quit 25 years ago, some 30 years, because of those elders. Yeah? You can tell an Indian name for thousands and thousands of years. An English name like Morris, in 200 years is going to be forgotten. The word Morris is going to be forgotten. But the Indian name, Little Wolf, will never be forgotten. It's going to go on forever and ever. Why? Because it's passed on from generation to generation. Yeah? And that's why it's important that we have these spiritual names. And for every reason that you cramped yourself into, meaning things that you kind of put yourself into, that name that each of you have as Native people is going to help you out of it. Because that name has a spirit. That name has a spirit. When I look at my hand, it has a shadow. I know I have a spirit, the image of the Father, along with His Son, which is my gifted spirit, Little Wolf. Same with you, same with all of us. Your shadow, your spirit name, along with the Holy Father, giving you that power. Yeah, you're never alone. Today, as all of us sitting here, we're representing our great-great-grandpa. We hear beautiful things about them. Let's go back, even though we didn't actually, Mom and Dad didn't actually live their way. We, as people today, this age, knowing how beautiful it is 200 years ago, let's go back there. We know we can't go back, but our minds can. Our minds, our spirit will bring us back and re-adopt those beautiful things that Grandma had, and to succeed and continue having us to fulfill this world today. And by world, I mean our territories. Yeah, yeah. That's important of young people knowing who they are, where they come from, and what they need in life is to know this person from. The grandfather is the teacher. The grandfather is the advisor to the son. He advises his son how to structure a model for his family, structure his way of life with respect, with many things, roles of how to look after a family and how to look after a family. you didn't get your wife because you thought you wanted her. Creator gave you that woman to look after. Remember that. Nobody talks to one another like that today. That's the real truth. Nobody. Creator, our Father, made you have that woman. So you look after her good. You look after her good. Advices come from the grandfather to the dad. And that's why in many cases that you hear, or you'll hear, that's the way my dad used to be. That's the way my grandpa used to be. That's the way he taught me. You hear it. And the only good things he'll tell you, the son will talk about, the good things. And that's the way it is today, teaching. Be strong, my son. You be strong now. Meaning have a big heart and don't bend for the weakness. Walk straight, meaning carry your family in a good way. Even if you had nothing, love your family. And what kind of things will fulfill as you journey in life. That's the greatest teaching from the grandfather of a son. Family plays a big role in community. Family, this doesn't happen. What I mean is that the community all gets involved with your family. As an example, I'll play the elder's role. Your couple, your mom and dad were home. And all at once I came to them. The tobacco that her brother, her family, her mom and dad came to give me for you. Okay? So they put that tobacco in front of me, and her playing the role of her mom and dad will ask me, can you go talk to her folks, for my daughter? So I'm sitting there listening, thinking about it. I know their son is a strong worker. He does everything. It's going to come to my mind. I'm not going to pass something that doesn't work. It's an elder, yeah. Where is he? Yeah, he's home and everything. And then pretty soon, okay, yeah, I agree. So I'll put the tobacco down. And a couple, 3 days after, I'll make my way to your family. And I speak to your mom and dad. I put the same tobacco in front of them, and right away that tobacco speaks. They're going to start looking and, I wonder why he brought that tobacco. I wonder why it's there. It's not like coming, hey, I want to speak to you. No. Once you put that tobacco in front of the elder, right now his mind starts traveling. Well, that's what's happened to your mom and dad. So after they settle, they'll sit down. Maybe she's doing the dishes. I mean, this happened. And then the old man, the father would say, come and sit down, my dear. The old guy will come say something. So when she sits down and I tell him, she wants her dad and mom want your daughter for a daughter-in-law. Oh. So they start taking over, not the elder, to them. Your dad and mom start talking about you. Well, we need her and all that. And then they'll say, well, he's a real good guy. He's going to make a good son-in-law. And then they agree, you folks agree. Then I go back home. A few days after, the couple, her dad and mom, come back to me, and I sit them down and said, yeah, it's all agreed. Everything's agreed. Then they set a date. And as an elder, I was told to look after the wedding. Okay, I'll do the wedding. The prayer of the wedding. So then in turn, I approach back to the daughter's place, and I tell them, it's all arranged, can you give me a date? And when you give me that date, it's a go. So you, as the daughter that she called, asked her what is the family, how important it is, you, as the daughter, your mom and you start making a teepee. Right now, you start making a teepee. You build it, you put all the things that goes along with a teepee, everything. Prior to that date that you said you will get married. And when the day comes that you're going to get married, it happens. It's not the thing that you don't have a home. You have a home to go right now. Because you build it before you ever got married. That's what importance of a family, yeah? Coming together and working together. You're all beautiful elders. And some of the elders are with different, I guess we could say, religions, you know. Some of them are preachers, are pastors, in which they're doing good. And then there's ones that are workaholic elders, you know, those kind. That's one elder that's going to play the role of identity of how the words were 200 years ago, what was said in that treaty to carry it forward today. That's 100% elder to the young people. The next elder is the advice. Be good to your wife. Be good to your children. Always be good to them. They're the ones that giving you that roof. And look, in turn, they'll look after you. The other elder is the medicine elder. Okay? The man that can doctor. Given to him by Creator to doctor people. That's an elder. They call him a prayer elder. Lots of people go to that one for prayers, see? And you recognize, you don't have to ask, you'll find out yourself. Your spirit tells you who to go to. So they all use. And then you find an elder that's alcohol. He's the real example. Tell me, don't use that word I tell you. Because if you use it, you're going to be like me. Don't listen to me. Because you're going to be like me. But my word to you is be strong. Don't take it or you're going to be like me. Yeah. That's also an elder too. That loves people and gives them respect. And I've heard it. Yeah. So these are different kind of elders. See? There's the keeper, there's the one that does the bundles, and then there's the medicine man. Yeah. And the examples. Yeah. So they're all important. If you see one down the street walking like that, say a few words for him. From God, help him. He's my grandpa. Regardless of who he is, he's still your grandpa. He's a root and seed of Mother Earth here. Yeah? There's a root. And that root is your elder. Yeah. If that root is not being used, it's going to go. It's got to be used. Eh? It's like a plant out here. How can a bundle of willows, use that, grow? How can they grow without that root? Yeah. Yeah. It needs that root. Yeah. So the age like this, the grandpa is the root. The grandpa has to put the seed into the young people. So that plant will also take over to be a root for the future generation. Yeah. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a hand-down teaching from generation to generation. You can never change that root. Only one person is not a person, it's our Father. The Heavenly Father can change. But that root can develop many other things to the seed of his grandchildren, his children, and his grandchildren, to continue develop. So you plant a tree, and you love that tree. I know you will say, oh, I love this tree. Well, say the same thing to your grandpa. I love you, Grandpa. Show me that root that you want me to be, and I'll use it. So what is the root? My child, the structure of life is only one. You be good to yourself. You teach people how you're good to yourself. You teach other people how to look after themselves. How to feed yourself. And eventually how they will feed other people. How to structure a better tomorrow. Because that leaf is coming. Before that leaf so beautiful comes, what are your plans for the next generation? Because I'm growing. So that root will continue to grow as long as you feed it the right way. Today, as an example, in a tribe, there's 3,500 people. Think of this. Only 250 occupy that tribe, occupy land in that tribe. 250. What about the 3,200 plus that have nothing? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So you, as that root, Grandpa's root, how can I develop these for these people? How can I put a root to seed more for these younger people so that they have all the same thing that we're talking about? Otherwise, this root is going to shrink. And this family with that root is gone. So is the root of the people that belong to that land. Yeah. Creator, our Father, through our mother and grandfather, never gave us that kind of life. You as individual, you can't blame. They didn't hold you down and pour it down your throat, or took that pill and squeezed it into your mouth. Eh? You have every right to say no to it. Eh? You have every right to have that beautiful life, because you were gifted when you came into this world. And that gift is still in you. Use it. We're all important. We just have to find that knowledge. And that knowledge is up here, of one another. That's because we're one another's that pull together. We have to all put together a community. We have to bring our people together and say, let's put a new plan so that we can seed a better tomorrow. Let's pull together. Let's all work together. Let's say a prayer to God so that we become one. Like Grandpa used to. Yeah. When they moved from camp to camp, they all landed up at the same place. Because after the 4th season, they're all in the same place. That's how much love they had one another. Yeah? And we all come from that. We have to show our young people what's needed. All of us sitting in here, we need that little guy over there. Who's going to help us when we hit 100 years old. He'll be there to help. But if we don't help him, give him that knowledge today and things, who else is going to take? So in plain words, pull the people together onto what you do, on this which program you do. Pull them together. Bring them into, have a prayer and talk to them. Let's make a new plan. Let's make something beautiful that we all need for our community, so that we can seed our younger people for a better tomorrow, so that we can seed our grandchildren have happiness. We ask all of us to pull together, and those young people will catch it. So that's my advice, is to love one another, have faith in one another, work together, and things will happen. Things will happen.